Alright, time for another update on the 65 Shelby GT350 Mustang. This one is the naked build for Sodak Model Cars group build. We cannot use any paint. I think I'm going to have the naked police after me on this one. We shall see. So in the last video, I showed the engine that I used the gallery markers on. These are them. And these are really good. I'm digging these. Very cool. Never thought I'd really get into painting with markers on model parts, but it works pretty good. And as you can see, I did a little bit of ignition wiring. It's got one of my 3D printed distributors in it. And little details, the oil filter, that was cut off the white engine. Again, no paint. And most of, it's just a fancy silver paint pen. The air filter, I used I detailed with an orange Sharpie and then came back with some black panel liner. Then I came back with black panel liner from that tomato company. We can use panel liner. So there's the engine. That's looking pretty good. The interior has moved along. I broke out the foil, and it's got the foil trim on it, on the door panels, and a little bit on the seats. It's only on the outside part of the seat. That's interesting. The shifter is just the kit piece. It has a piece of foil underneath it for the boot plate, and the rubber boot is painted with a Sharpie. As you can kind of tell, I would have liked to use some flat black paint there, but I'm playing by the rules, and as best as I can, of course. In the white shifter knob, the plastic is white, and I sanded all the plating off to get that characteristic white shift knob. The real car has a Hearst shifter. This is what's in the kit. It's not quite right. It has the reverse lockout. The Shelbys didn't have that, and oh yeah, you're probably wondering where that spare tire is. It's right there. I worked on the dash some as well, and I know what you're thinking. Oh, I totally cheated on this, but not really. I kind of showed how I did I masked and sanded the dash pad to give this a flat black and this a gloss black. It's kind of needs some fingerprint removal. Most notably, the steering wheel. The Shelby cars had a different steering wheel than what is in the kit. So I actually took that kit part and modified it to be more Shelby-like by opening up the holes and then elongating the spokes. And I noticed it's a different steering wheel in the 65 kit than the 66 kit. The 66 kit does not have the holes molded open, which is fairly unique. The color on the steering wheel, again, that is just the silver paint pen from here. And then I took the orange Sharpie and colored the wheel rim. And once that was done, I went on and gave it a couple of coats of Tomato Company brown panel liner, because that needed to be toned down. It just couldn't be that bright orange. And we were told we could use Sharpie markers and panel liner. And that is what I did on that. And then the gauge panel, it's got some panel liner flown in the chrome piece. That is foil on the glove box door, chrome paint pen for the gauges, and the little dots for knobs and stuff, and the turn signal. That is molded in that kit. That's pretty cool. Interior is looking really good. You've seen the body, but I have worked on it a little bit. Did all of the foil work, which was kind of a pain in the butt because for some reason I chose some old crappy foil I had laying around. Don't do that. I mean, if it's old crappy foil, go get some new stuff because this has fought me and it's still fighting me. It should have come out a whole lot nicer because, you know, there's no orange peel paint on this to make it look worse. It's just old funky foil, and it's even kind of yellowy over time. But I said I have all this, I don't want to just throw it away, so I put it on here. I'm kind of slightly regretting it. Another thing I did, a vinyl headliner. That's a piece of the vinyl, same thing I put on the interior, and then it has some vinyl on the insides, and then all this is colored Sharpie. And the thing I'm kind of concerned about is, I don't think you can really see it in the camera. I bet when I take photos, I'm concerned about taking photos because this white translucent plastic, when I hit it with a lot of light, it's likely you're going to see that black. You know, a different color between here and here, but I don't know, maybe. But it looks really good. I did the panel liner on the door edges. This was the gray from Tomato Company, of course. And I know what you're thinking. It's missing something obvious. I made these. And these are some decals that I traced from the kit decals, which I'm shown are not really the right color. They're almost baby blue in the 65 kit. And I'm pretty happy with how these printed. They plugged up just a little bit. Printer struggled a little bit with this. But my concern was I printed several of these, and my first shot at it, when I'm trying to get them down, these are on clear paper. The ink was running out. Like, I didn't have enough clear on them, and so you put more clear on it, then they get thicker, and it just makes more mess. And that was sort of where I made my little air cleaner decal and a little GT350 to go on the back that I might use. But I have a backup plan. I got these, and these are from the 66 GT350 non-Hertz that's been issued a couple of times. And these are actually, they're kind of coming out a little bit purpley or purple, but these are pretty close. These, you can see the difference. These are more brighter. I kind of like that. But I went on and got this kit because I think that even though these are yellowed, these should still work pretty good. And they are sharper than my inkjet printed ones. As you can see, this is about the best you're going to get on the inkjet printer. And the other thing I didn't like about these is they get a little jaggy. I don't know if you can kind of see that. If it's not totally straight. And so when I trimmed them real tight, that might have been what caused the ink to run, because once you trim these, you are breaking the seal of the clear lacquer in the carrier. You have carrier, ink, lacquer. And so if I trim these out here, okay, it takes less time for that water to go between that clear lacquer and hit that blue ink. Because if it just moves a little bit, you know, or gets a little bit of water in between that lacquer protector, that ink's gonna run. And believe me, that did not look good on this white hood when I tried it. So we're gonna try these just to get this project wrapped up. So let's get busy. So I got busy and just wrapped this thing up. And for the most part, it's pretty good. We got to talk about these blue stripes a little bit because while they look pretty good, yes, with what I'm showing you, yeah, if you notice, there's something kind of missing here, you know, here, here. And it just seems that the decals that were made in 1989, how many years is that ago? More math than I care to do right now. Maybe 30, 40, who knows, 100. But the no matter what you tried, they were not going to really go over that hood lump. And so it kind of is what it is. It's just sort of unfortunate that there aren't any good aftermarket decals I've found for this car, which is probably one of the most iconic Mustang Shelbys of all time. And another thing I kind of don't like is even right here, there wasn't a decal. For decal, how do you say it? I like decal because some people say that. Anyway, they didn't have anything to go here. And then they had some that went in here, like in between the grill, but that was going to be a no bueno. Those were not going to work, even worse than these. And even these bottom valance ones, they were kind of not fun either. But overall, it looks pretty good, I think, for a naked build. Let's put it over there and get some better photos of it. And I added some cool details to it, so that I haven't shown. So let's take a look at those first. I've mentioned the GT350 holds a special place in my life. One of my childhood neighbors had one, and I was obsessed with it. That's a young Tim Custom riding shotgun. One of the things I thought were so cool was that it had these huge seat belts. I'd never seen anything like that. Must be race car. So the model needed some. I 3D printed these, made some belts from tape, and colored the buckles with the silver marker. The leather backing was simply part of the box that this kit came in. The belts completed the interior. And here it is under the lights. Despite the minor decal debacle, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I want to be sure to thank Adam at Sodak Model Cars for coming up with this challenge, and the wheels are turning for the next one. Under the hood looks pretty good, and the ignition wires and 3D printed distributor and coil certainly help. The chassis is even pretty good. The rear shocks were colored with a red Sharpie after coloring them with silver first. All this view needs is a young Tim Custom inside. Hope you enjoyed this series, and be sure to like, comment, subscribe, you know what to do, because I have all kinds of model car stories to tell. Thanks for watching.